Hello, I'm Ricky Lee, and today on the watch list, I'm joined by Ryan Smith, President, CEO, and Director of US Energy Corp. The company has announced a final investment decision for its Big Sky Carbon Hub in Montana, alongside an EPC agreement and the commencement of capital spending, a major step toward commercial operations targeted for 2027. Ryan, welcome to the watch list.
Thanks, Ricky. Good to be here.
It's great to have you. Ryan, these are some major execution milestones that I mentioned there, particularly for a project of this scale. Can you walk us through some of the key highlights of the announcement and what it signals about the readiness of the Big Sky Carbon Hub?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, today is a milestone that we've been building towards for 18 months now. We've reached our final investment decision at the Big Sky Carbon Hub in Montana, which means construction is officially underway. We've executed an EPC contract with Canusa EPC, a leading construction and engineering firm, and capital is now flowing into the ground. What makes this particularly meaningful is that we didn't just flip a switch today. Every element of a de-risk project was already in place before we pulled the trigger. Our wells are drilled, our plant site is secured, our engineering is complete, and our EPA permitting applications are filed. Our recent successful capital markets activity really pulled forward both the timeline and the certainty of construction, and today we're starting to put that capital to work. We're targeting commissioning in the third quarter of 2026 and initial commercial operations in the first quarter of 2027.
So you got a lot of things in the pipelines ready to go for the next 12 to 18 months, it sounds. But one of the big things that stands out about Big Sky is its integrated model, right? So we're combining helium production, carbon management, and enhanced oil recovery into one single asset. How does that structure allow US Energy to generate multiple recurring revenue streams? And what makes that approach compelling from an investor perspective?
Yeah, great question. And this is really what makes Big Sky unique. And I think it's what the market will increasingly appreciate as we move through construction. I mean, everything starts with our resource. We control approximately 80,000 acres in Montana's Kevin Dome with a third party evaluated phase one resource of 1.3 billion cubic feet of helium and 444 billion cubic feet of CO2. And that's a 50 plus years of resource life with all of it owned and operated by us. When we process that gas, we produce three things simultaneously. First, helium. High purity helium is a critical industrial gas. There's limited domestic supply, there's inelastic global demand, and there's premium pricing. We're in advanced negotiations on a long-term offtake agreement with a global industrial gas company and expect to finalize that this year. Second, we have our carbon management revenue. The CO2 that we capture from helium processing qualifies for the federal Section 45Q tax credit at approximately $85 per metric ton. That's a policy-supported, commodity-independent revenue stream. And we estimate approximately $130 million in phase one tax credit value alone. And third, we have our enhanced oil recovery at our Cutbank oil field, which we also own 100% of. We take that refined CO2, we inject it into our own legacy oil field to increase recovery. So the same molecule that generates a tax credit also extends and grows the life of an oil asset that we already own. So it's one asset, it's three revenue streams, and that's the Big Sky Carbon Hub.
Well, it sounds like you have a brilliant set of accomplishments for the next 12 to 18 months to look forward to. Thank you so much for your time today, Ryan.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you, Ricky.
Once again, that is Ryan Smith, President and CEO of US Energy Corp. For more on the Big Sky Carbon Hub and the company's development strategy, visit usnrg.com. That's all for this episode of The Watch List. I'm Ricky Lee. Make good choices today.